Hello, how is everyone doing? Just give me 1 second, guys. Hopefully we're live. Hope it's all working. Cool, it looks like we're all working. How is everyone doing? Thank you for joining me for another Amazon FBA Q&A, where we just hang out. You can ask questions about Amazon. I'll do my best to answer them for you. You can ask me questions about business, about myself as well, I suppose, if you really want to. Sometimes we go down that. But yeah, anyway, for those of you that are new, my name's Simon. I'm a seven-figure Amazon seller in the UK. And yeah, I have I'm all over YouTube. I have a community. I have a bit of software. But I've got a free community. That's the main thing. All these things links in the description, by the way. Free community. I've got a bit of software. I've got a mentoring program. But yeah, what I just love doing is helping you guys with Amazon, answering questions, just hanging out with you guys, and I'm here to just help basically. So yeah, if you've got any questions around Amazon, I'm around Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time. So you can come on, you can get some free mentoring from me. Ask me any questions you want about Amazon, and I'll do my best to answer them. And actually, before we start, by the way, I do not plug this enough, but I'm giving away a MacBook. So if you want to have a chance to win this, it's free to enter. Just go into the links in the description, have a look in there. All the links are there, basically. So doing a terrible job of showing this, but there we go. MacBook Air. It's been given away just before Christmas. Every year I give away a MacBook to my community. So that's pretty much the only requirement. You have to be in the Discord, I think. If I remember correctly, I can't remember what rules I set up. But yeah, around the 18th or 20th of December, we'll draw that prize. And one of you lucky people at home will have a chance to win a MacBook Air. I'll send it to you just in time for Christmas. So yeah, I gave one away last year. And this year, it's the MacBook. It's not these ones because you probably don't want my AirPods. It's a pair of AirPods and an Amazon voucher. I don't have an Amazon voucher just to show you. But yeah, so there's three prizes basically. But yeah, awesome. How is everyone doing anyway? ACA, thanks for joining us. Right off with the questions I love. That's cool. Awesome. I'll get to that in a second, mate. That's awesome. Good questions. Let me just organise myself a little bit. I'll be apologising if I'm a bit like, I don't know, sound funny or something. I've been ill for the past few days. I'm still not feeling 100%. So yeah. Honestly, it was a bit of a struggle to get on tonight, but I was like, you know what, I've got to come on, got to keep the regular schedule. So, but yeah, if I suddenly start sweating, it's because I'm running a bit of a fever. But it's been on and off. It's been really weird. But yeah, yeah. So right, let me just catch up with everything. Oh, okay, cool. Right, I'm excited to be on here, guys. Let's just, before we get into questions, I want to give you my usual kind of update of how my Amazon is going. I enjoy doing this. So today, I feel like it's a little bit slow, to be fair, but it's better than yesterday. So I feel like we're slowing down a little bit in the middle of the month, but so far it's not going too bad. So £193 profit. I took a little bit of a break from sourcing, so this is pretty good. I'm not going to complain, but it's not as much as my usual, but it's not too bad really. I took a little bit of a break from sourcing, just been focusing on other things, the mentoring program, things like that. But now I'm getting back to sourcing. I bought a bunch of stuff today. Spent about £6,000 today. No, £7,000 today probably on stock. So I've got some stock going into Amazon now, really ramping things up. Let's just check out the month first, and then we'll go from there. Actually, we just hit a nice little milestone in the month as well, which is good. So we're on for a good month, actually. If things carry on, this is how we're looking right now. We're on £6,050. So considering we're basically midway through the month, this basically puts us well on target for a 10K month, and if not, maybe a little bit more. So, and just to show you last month, by the way, this really annoys me, by the way. It's going to show you last month. This was £10,000 last month, but some refunds came in and things like that. This is the previous month. Refunds came in, and you know, as part of Amazon, you get refunds. So when I just got a little bit over 10K, I think it was 10,100, or I can't remember exactly what it was, 10,200 maybe, and I've had some refunds since then. So is what it is. Unfortunately, I dipped below 10 for last month. It's still pretty good though. So, and these are all, by the way, this is gross profit. So we've got to take some expenses and things off as well. But you know, it's somewhere around there basically. But yeah, that's gross profit though. Just to make that quite clear. Gross profit meaning profit before kind of take off expenses like prep bill, things like that. So knock off a couple of grand basically. But yeah, cool. Right. Let's get into some questions then. So we're straight into it. ACA is saying, do I still sell in Europe? I actually don't sell into Europe right now, but I really need to reactivate it because it's a good way to make more money. This is actually one of the things I'm going to teach in my mentoring program. It's one of the things I teach. But yeah, teaching actually about how to sell into Europe using EFN. Now, I turned it all off because I had this. I mean, I've told this story before. I bought a bunch of Weller, bought about 10 grand's worth of Weller. I could not for the life of me create the listing on Amazon. It was one of these weird little glitchy ASINs where you seemingly add it to inventory, it wouldn't add. I was literally bashing my head against the wall. I tried everything. I went through seller support. They were useless. They couldn't even understand the question. I said, why don't you just add it to inventory? I'm like, oh, really? I've been selling on for 3 years. You don't think I know about adding to inventory? So I went through all these different things, ChatGPT, Google, and one of the things said, just remove it could be something to do with Europe, remove all European listings. So I had an entire freaking pallet of this stuff arriving. Couldn't add the thing to Amazon, so I was like, I want to just disable all my European stuff and do that basically. So I need to, and it still didn't work, but I was willing to try anything. And then of course the order got cancelled. So I kind of dodged the bullet on that one, but anyway, so I need to kind of reactivate EFN. Now, I'll be honest, my EFN got a little bit out of control. I think EFN's really good in a targeted manner. The way that Amazon was working, it was basically doing my entire catalog via EFN, and I had to kind of turn things off. I think it's a better way to do it. I need to look into how to do this properly. But to just specifically sell certain things into Europe rather than having a blanket of your entire sort of inventory, essentially. Especially when you're doing things like OA, where you've got limited inventory, things like that. This is where the strategies change. Depends on whether you've got. Again, So it depends. Should you do EFN? I guess is a good question. The answer is yes. If you're buying something specifically to sell into Europe, there are some products where you look at it and go, "There's not much profit to make in the UK," but hey, Germany does really well. So when you're buying a specific ASIN specifically for, say, Germany, for example. Or, like when I was doing my Nike sneakers, when you've essentially got unlimited stock, and while I was making maybe, say, £40 profit per pair in the UK, and I was only making, say, £25 a pair in Germany, because essentially that stock was, at the time, was limitless, I was willing to take every sale I could where I was going to make money. So I was happy to take 40 in the UK, 25 in Germany, 20 in France, obviously within a certain range. 20 is probably the lowest I'd take. But of course, if you got, let's say I only bought 10 pairs of sneakers, I could never get any more pairs, and it was just 10 pairs, then I'd be silly to sell a pair into Germany for 25 profit. I'd always want to sell those into UK for £40 profit. So should you sell into European Union? It depends on how much stock you can get and things like that. So these are all considerations you've got to have, basically. But when you've got something that's kind of essentially unlimited stock, then yes, you want every sales channel possible, essentially. eBay, TikTok, Amazon EU, all of it basically. Obviously, you want to try and gather every sale you can with the unlimited stock. Anyway, so that's a very long answer to a simple question, which could have been a yes or no answer. But that's how I keep these things going for like an hour. So, and I do love talking. So, Anyway, let me just say hello to everyone as well. Hey, Zara, for coming on. Hey, Helen. Hey, Boja. Hey, Built to Graph. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Adrian, how's it going? Adrian and AD, we got an official Limitless Adrian. Thanks guys for joining us. Appreciate it, guys. I'll get through the questions now, but thank you. So trying to keep the beard all kind of like, I had a wet shave for the first time in a long time, trying to keep it all going. But yeah, bit ginger though. But Limitless Adrian. Okay, I'm trying to get over this bloody, I don't know what I've got. It's not a full-on flu. It's just a bit of a fever. I don't know. It's like a cold, man flu, basically, I guess you call it. So I'm getting tired during the day, having to go for a nap and stuff. But, I say a nap, like 4 hours sleep. But I'm trying to push through, continue working, and anyway. So, I just break out into sweats. It's ridiculous. So Helen's got a good question here. So do you send all your stock into Amazon for FBA, or do you split your stock between FBM and FBA? So by the way, just for those of you that don't know, who are maybe new, FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, which means Amazon essentially send the stock, and FBM is Fulfillment by Merchant, which means essentially you still sell on Amazon, but you actually send it yourself, a bit like eBay essentially. I don't do FBM myself. So I'm not saying you can't do FBM. It's a great model, can be great models for that, but for my lifestyle, it's not really congruent to that. I don't really like to have the stock in my apartment, although saying that I've got a freaking load of returns in my living room that's doing my head in. I hate having stock in my house. I don't want to see stock, so I need to sort that out. But yeah, I like to have a a simple life where, because I've got a lot of things going on. I've got the YouTube, I've got the Discord community, I've got the mentoring now. I don't want to be sat here boxing stuff up and FBMing it, even if it's more profitable. I just don't want to spend my time doing that. Now, it's not to say it's not a valid method. It 100% is a valid method, and you can make a lot of money doing it if you're willing to sit there and do it. But for me, the whole lure of FBA was the fact that I didn't have to do this like eBay. And I don't do eBay either, really. I do a tiny bit here, trying to sell some excess inventory here and there, but for the most part, I don't do eBay. And pretty much if I do eBay, it's literally just excess inventory returns and stuff. Because I don't want to be sat, I don't want to have this, I don't want to see the stock for one. I don't want to be sat here packing it. It's just not congruent to my kind of lifestyle, really. So, but I do pass up on opportunities to sell on eBay. I see deals every now and then. I'm like, oh, that's a good eBay deal, but it's not for me, really. So, but no, it's a good method though. But yeah, it's just doesn't fit my lifestyle, and that's a good thing as well, by the way. This is actually the first thing I talk about in when I'm doing like calls with people and mentoring and stuff like that. I'm like, we can build this around your lifestyle. Like for me, for example, I like to never see the stock, right? And I like to just be able to literally just, if when I go to Dubai tomorrow, I can, and my business will still run. Other people prefer to have a warehouse. There's Ryan. I did a call with a vlog, a podcast with maybe 2 months ago now. I can't lose track of time. And he wants to have a warehouse and see the stock there and do multiple sales channels and stuff like that. You can literally build this however you want. That's the great thing about Amazon. You can build it around your lifestyle. If you want to be someone who goes out and does RA and goes to all the shops with a van or a big car, you can do that. If you want to be someone like me, sits in front of a computer all day, building a belly up and, not doing much exercise, and you can do that as well. You can do whatever you kind of want. That's the great thing about this business. You can literally, go into this and run it all, remotely, or you can be hands-on. The problem with eBay, I suppose, is like if you do eBay, for example, you have to have the stock and send it. I'm not sure of too many. I'm sure there are centers out there that'll do it, but doing eBay remotely can be quite difficult, really. So anyway, yeah, that's yeah. I'll be honest though. Whenever I go to like the warehouse, like the prep center, things like that, and see the stock and the warehouse and all that stuff, it does get my kind of juices flowing a little bit. I say like, oh, it'd be really cool to have a warehouse. Then I remember, I don't want to have a warehouse. Doesn't fit my lifestyle. Expensive as well. Let's say you find a warehouse that costs £2,000 a month rent. You pretty much got to double it once you factor in bills, heating, electric, blah blah blah, rates. It doubles the cost. So you've got a lot of expense. Then you're gonna have someone to manage it, and unless you do it anyway, yeah. So it just doesn't fit my lifestyle. Yeah. So anyway, enough about that. So ACA is saying, what about different rules through different EU countries? German wants some payment packaging. Yeah, so it's called, what's it called? Lucid? Yeah, Lucid. Yeah, so I'll be honest, I'm not like an expert on it, but I managed to get a Lucid number and it's all good. And I do get charged by Amazon. They send me like a Lucid bill every now and then. Let me just pick like this year, for example, or something, or let me have a look at this on SDK. I can see it on SDK. If I go on to STK, I've just picked lifetime here, so now I'm going through. So I think it's called this EPR, pay on behalf, basically, is what it's called. So I think that's it essentially. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I'll be honest with you. Again, I probably should look more into this, but let me just kind of put a screenshot of what I've just shown you there, basically. So I believe this is what it is. I am not 100% sure, but I believe this is part of that kind of like fee for packaging. And what we're talking about here, by the way, is Germany. I think France may be doing it as well, but it's definitely Germany. Essentially what you do, you have to pay a little levy for any kind of packaging you import into the country. So let's say you import cardboard, which most of the time it is just cardboard. There's like a small levy. Essentially, it's like a disposal fee, essentially. So it's basically, obviously, that customer's probably going to throw that in a landfill somewhere. It's a bit of a scam, I'll be honest with you. You have to pay maybe 5p or something to kind of cover the cost of that, And then obviously plastic's more expensive. Metals, I don't know what metals, but it depends what it is. Essentially, most of the stuff we deal with is just, is just cardboard, maybe a little bit of plastic. So it's that kind of thing, essentially. But yeah, so yeah, do you know how it works when selling electronics? I'll be honest, Zara, I don't know. I knew enough just to get it going, and yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not that sure. I'll be honest. So I've maybe broken some rules and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just being honest with you on this one. It's probably I definitely need to look into it more. I think more properly. That makes no sense. I need to look into it a bit more and just understand it better, especially if I turn it back on, essentially. Cool. So good questions, though. Really good questions. Do you use a prep center? Yes, I do. Yep. Ish, thanks for joining us, mate. Appreciate you coming on. What do you cover in your mentorship program? Absolutely. Why not? So what do I cover in the mentorship? So one thing I'm going to say is if you're interested in doing mentorship, I've got a link in the description. You can book a call with me for an hour. Like I say, even if you just want to have a chat with me, ask questions about Amazon, you don't necessarily want to do the mentorship, you can still book that call with me. I'm happy to help you. I just enjoy talking to people, to be fair. If you are wanting to do it, then you can book that as well. What do I teach? It's like 12 or 13 sourcing methods. I'd say it's about 70% sourcing. I'd say the rest of it is essentially planning the Amazon business around you and your goals and your lifestyle. And then the rest of it essentially is making sure you're running a professional business, that you're tracking everything. We give you everything you need to make sure you run the business properly, if that makes sense. And then finally, the last part is scaling and outsourcing. So that's the kind of essentially in a nutshell. If you want to find out more, then book a call with me. But that's essentially it in a nutshell. So it's the most comprehensive, the best mentoring program out there. I can guarantee it. Absolutely guarantee it. But I don't teach private label. I don't teach wholesale. Actually, the question is there from a guy saying, "Oh, do you cover wholesale?" I was like, "Nah, Matt, I don't." It's literally OA, A to A, and Cogita as well if you want. But yeah, although Cogita is pretty much everything online anyway. But yes, it's pretty much an OA centric course because I think OA's. Well, I just love OA. To be fair, I think it's the best for beginners, and it's. I don't necessarily agree with wholesale and brand direct and private label for beginners. They're good models. Don't get me wrong. You can make lots of money with them. Just don't think they're good for beginners. Yeah, take a breath. Right. So, Zara, I'll be honest, I need to do some more research on it. Especially before I get back into it and start scaling it up. I kind of jumped into it fairly quickly with my Nike sneakers, and then, I'll be honest, I wasn't the most informed on it, to be fair, but I definitely need to get myself more informed if I turn it back on. Helen, you can ask as many questions as you want. That's why I'm here, to help out. So if you've got any more questions, you can ask. So you're doing online arbitrage. Awesome. Happy. Just wondering, if I go to the shop to buy things, what about the receipts? Amazon asks, as you wouldn't have your details on. So you don't need the details. So first thing, you need to have a receipt. That's a very important thing, essentially. So you're going into a store like Smith's or Tesco or Asda, make sure you get the receipt. One slight caveat, I doubt you're VAT registered right now, but if you're VAT registered, just keep your orders under £250. So if you've got £500 in your cart, split it into two purchases, because you can't claim VAT back off a receipt if it's over £250. So just a slight little caveat there. But what you can do is obviously just keep that receipt. And obviously, don't pay with cash, pay with your business card. You pay with your purchasing card or whatever card you use for your business. And then what you can do essentially is you can then show the bank statement and the receipt together and go, look, this is my business account here. You can see the purchase for £100 and here's a receipt from Tesco's for £100. So that's the link that you get to Amazon, basically. So, that's the way, there should be something in the description. Official limitless, I'm just going to call you Adrian. It should be the first link in the description. Hopefully I've not messed it up. So I'm sure I can get that link for you again, but I'm pretty sure it's there. It's not a course. It's a one-on-one mentorship program. So it's just to let you know, it's not a course. Courses are okay, but they're not my favorite. Most people buy courses, never do them. This is it's an intensive one-on-one mentoring program. I'll put the link in there for you now if you want. That's the link anyway. So just I suspected you weren't, Helen. I just wanted to kind of make that, just when you go back registered, just keep that in mind that you can do that, but just keep your orders under £250. Essentially, what you can do when your purchase is under £250, you can do a self calculation for VAT. If it's over £250, you need an actual proper invoice. Now, unless you're going to like B&Q or Wix or Screwfix, you're not going to get a proper invoice, from like Tesco, Sainsbury's. So just keep it under £250 essentially. That's the answer to that one. But book that in. You got the link there basically. So that's the thing. It's a good question so far, guys. This is awesome. Yeah, if you've got any more questions, Helen, feel free to take advantage. That's why I do this. So you don't even need mentorship. You can just keep asking me on these. Obviously, it's not going to be a personalized approach, but if you've got any questions, you can ask it on here when I do Monday, Thursday. You've got my Discord community as well. Again, it's very helpful in there. There's loads of people helping out in there. Like today, I've not been really paying too much attention in there because just wasn't feeling that great. But people have asked questions and got answers in there because the community is really awesome. So that's a amazing thing. So what's the best way to source? Is it web scraping? Is it storefront stalking? Is it regular manual sourcing? Well, it's I guess the answer is all methods are important, to be fair. So yeah, it depends on the time of year. One thing I will say of that is I'm not a fan of storefront stalking. Now, the reason I don't like it, and I apologize if you heard me say this before because I sound like a crack record on this one, sort of generic storefront stalking that all the VAs do and people do, just the generic storefront stalking, is just, I personally just don't like it. Now, I'll say this with a caveat. If you're new to Amazon and you want to learn the brands, the sites, that you can buy from, open your mind to different products and things like that, then it's good. It's a good method. You can go on there and go, oh wow, someone sells hair straighteners, or didn't think you could sell those, or someone sells cans of 7-Up or whatever, or someone sells this. You're like, oh, I didn't even think of that. So that's quite good for like opening your mind to what's possible. But in terms of actually reverse sourcing people, go onto my store, for example. Good luck reverse sourcing it. So I've got products in there, right, that I've sold out or maybe got like 10 in stock, for example. I wish I could buy more of my own stock, but the deal's been and gone. That's the downside of OA, is that you're generally buying sales. So they come and they go. Now, obviously, one thing's good. It means no one else can jump onto it if they've missed the sale. The downside is that you can't even restock it yourself. So I know where my inventory comes from, right? And sometimes I'll buy stuff, let's say 10 units or something, and I'll wish I bought 50 or 100. But I didn't at the time, and I'd love to go back and buy more, but either they're out of stock or the sale's gone. So good luck for you trying to manual source my store, because 90% of the stuff in there is been and gone in terms of a sale. The deal's gone. I can't even restock it myself. So, and that is pretty much typical for most online arbitrage kind of sellers on there, really. So I'm not saying for all, but majority, that's why I don't like reverse sourcing. Like I say, it's good if you want to, let's say you see I'm selling Clinique, for example, you go, okay, let me search on Google this, and you find all these different websites you never heard of. Notino look fantastic, whatever. You're like, oh, I didn't even know those stores existed. That can be quite a good thing. Or going, oh, I didn't even know you could sell Clinique. You can't now, by the way, it's hard gated. But, that's what it's good for. But actually finding deals, I do not like it. But yeah. So, and then in terms of other, I kind of do all sorts really. So my main kind of thing is looking for, I use newsletter sourcing. I do manual sourcing. Basically, the biggest tip I can give you is where there's smoke, there's fire. Go where the sales are. As online arbitrage sellers, we're looking for deals, we're looking for sales, we're looking for discount codes, we're looking for whatever it is that gets us that item cheap or cheaper than normal. So use whatever method you need to do to basically find those sales. And then once you found those sales, you can then go through and look and find deals, basically. So that's the best thing I can say for that one. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Keep that in mind. Right, so... But yeah, in terms of the best method, honestly, the best method is the one you have most success with. I genuinely mean that. Like, in the mentorship program, we teach like 13 methods, and generally it might be we teach you one method, right, in 1 week, and you just go out and you find a smashing deal, right? That's probably more likely to be your favorite method just because you have the most success with it. But then, someone else might prefer another method. I actually think the method that you enjoy the most is the one that you have the most success with. So yeah, like for me, Quiggita is a big one for me, just because I've been crushing it. But yeah, there's loads of other methods to find deals though. What model do you sell on? So in terms of my model, it's online arbitrage with Quiggita. Now, Quiggita basically is a hybrid between online arbitrage and wholesale, to be fair. I pretty much consider it online arbitrage for the most part. You're on a website, you're ordering from a website, gets delivered. The only thing you can't do is return it. But yeah, apart from that, it's pretty much OA as far as I'm concerned. Good questions, guys and girls, I should say. Clayton saying, do you know the current status about bundling products? Did Amazon plan to stop? Yes, someone sent me something recently about this. Let me get it up on WhatsApp, actually. Someone sent me this. It was a screenshot but I've never been a bundling fan myself. I know it can be a profitable method. So I'm just scrolling through my WhatsApp here. It can be a profitable method, don't get me wrong, if you do it right. Now, I'm not a bundling expert. Again, I don't profess to be a wholesale expert, a brand direct expert. I don't profess to be a private label expert, if I've covered that one already, or a bundling expert. What I do is on arbitrage. That's my expertise. That's what I teach. That's what I know. I won't even pretend to know anything else. I know I know just enough about wholesale, private label, brand direct, and bundling to get in trouble, basically. So yeah, basically, bundling. Let me just take a screenshot of this. Basically, yeah, here we go. So this is something that someone sent out on Twitter or something like this. But yeah, maybe it was Facebook. But yeah, basically a big warning for UK bundle sellers. Amazon are clamping down basically because what's happening. Sorry, you probably can't read all this, but yeah, there's a warning that went out the other day to people. Essentially, what people are doing is, and it's really naughty, is what they're doing. Let's say they've got a 6-pack of 7-Up, right? Okay, so what they're doing is you're not allowed to just I can't just sell this under the brand of like OA Hero, for example, right? And go, oh, this is OA Hero flavored drink. Because it's obviously 7-Up, right? Owned by whoever, Coca-Cola probably. Who is it? Oh, Britvic. But what people are doing is basically taking this and they're basically just like, they're using Photoshop to basically cover up like the 7-Up, the sort of trademark logo, and then they're putting their own brand on it, and they're selling like a 10-pack of this, for example. Or they might be bundling, I've got 2 cans here, but they might be pretending, let's say this pretend is a different flavour. They'll bundle 2 flavours together under their own brand, and obviously they're just covering up the 7-Up thing and the Britvic, or whatever brand it is, and putting their own brand in. People who've been doing that, come on, you really think Amazon was going to let you do that forever? Really? Honestly? Now, I think bundling can work. Let's say, for example, there's nothing wrong with you bundling these things together. If you get 10 flavours together and you go, look, this is still 7-Up, right? It's under the Britvic brand. I think that's fine to do. Again, I'm not an expert on bundling, but when you're trying to sell it under your own brand, and the reason people do this is because they want to try and protect their listing from other people jumping on, then I would argue that that's a bit naughty, and I think Amazon are massively clamping down on it. But yeah, so anyway, so I think that's what people are doing. I think it's fine to bundle in a branded item with your one. Again, I don't know the exact rules. Again, just take it with a pinch of salt, what I'm saying here. Like I said, I know just enough to get in trouble. There's like a great, I don't want to kind of dox these people, but there's a great bundle online where people sell. It's like, consistent. It's a baby bundle box, basically. So, let me find it, sod it. Excuse my language. I'm probably going to be dox these guys now, right? Let me find this guy. Okay. Unless they've been shut down as well. Maybe they've shut themselves down, I don't know. But essentially what they do is like, it's like a newborn sort of baby gift set sort of thing. And actually, I think maybe they have actually stopped doing it now. But let me just take an image, screenshot of this. So what they do here, it's a great idea, by the way. These people make a fortune. So what they do basically is they sell these things, and all these things are pretty much private label. The teddy bear, the little beanie, the bow, the box, the blanket is all sort of stuff they've probably imported from China. What I've seen them do in the past, though, is like they'll also throw in like a bottle of, let's say, Johnson & Johnson's sort of baby oil, for example, or something like that. I think that's absolutely fine when the majority of it's your own kind of thing, but you're then kind of like throwing in your own. So most of it's your stuff, and then you're throwing in, like, say, one branded item. I think that's fine. Although, again, I'm not 100% sure. Although I'm noticing these people here have actually stopped doing it. So maybe even putting branded stuff in there, they've stopped doing that now. Yeah, I'm actually noticing their pictures have changed. So, yeah, maybe they've actually stopped putting branded items in there. But anyway, that's just going to show you what I've been doing. So, yeah, in the past, those kind of bundles there would have, like, a bottle of Johnson & Johnson's, or maybe some like baby wipes or something like that, basically, things in there. So that was, I think that was okay. Although apparently, looking at their listings, they've even gotten rid of those. I'm looking at this now. I can't see any of their listings where I need to set this up so you can actually see me looking here. Oh, actually, here we go. I've got one here. Here we go. Oh no, they actually have got rid of it. Interesting. Very interesting. So they still have it on there. I'm going to show you this quickly before we move on. I know I'm kind of flogging a dead horse here. But they've got this on their kind of like their page, if that makes sense. But when I actually click into it, though, I actually can't find this product anymore. But you can see here, they've kind of bundled the Johnson & Johnson's, the Pampers in the background, along with their own private label stuff. So this, I think, used to be fine. But even now, looking at this place, Thingy they don't have any things on here that have branded items in there. So I think they've stopped doing it. So interesting stuff. Anyway, enough about that. But yeah, what have you heard, Claudia? By the way, let me know what you've heard. But yeah, do I do OA? Yeah, OA, pretty much all of it. OA and Cogita. And A2A, sorry. Yeah. OA, Cogita, A2A. That's my model. So JC saying, for a startup Shopify supplement brand, custom unique product, minimal resource, is Amazon worth trying as a sidestep? What is the lowest amount needed to start with Amazon in your opinion? So I'm not an expert on Shopify, but I know one of the hard things with doing Shopify is actually finding people. It's easy to set up a Shopify site, but it's hard to get people to actually turn up to the site. You have to pay for traffic, either organic traffic or, word of mouth, which is against organic technically, or paid traffic. Amazon, you don't have to do that. So, with a caveat, if you're selling things like 7-Up, for example, I can sell 7-Up as an example. I don't need to advertise 7-Up. People know what 7-Up is, so I don't need to spend any money on advertising. On Amazon, you can create your own private label brand, definitely, but you'd probably, if it's, let's say it's FBA Mogul brand or whatever, you'll probably have to then pay for advertising as well. So it depends what kind of brand you're selling. But in terms of how much you need to start with, there's no real minimum, 500. I mean, if you've already got the products as well, why not just start on there? It's £30 a month for a professional account. You have to pay for some advertising. This is where you're going to basically get into private label. So if you want to do private label, I don't teach it. I don't know enough about private label. I wouldn't even pretend to. I can hook you up, basically, JC. If you want me to hook you up with someone who can teach you private label, who does a mentoring program around private label, loads of successful students, then I can hook you up with a good contact there. So, I'll tell you, it's Nikos Marco. Go and check out Nikos Marco. Just tell him I sent you, basically. He can help you because it sounds like what you're doing essentially is private label there. But yeah, minimum £500, £1,000. But if you already got the products, then minimum is not that much really. Zara, it would have been really helpful to see what sites you can source from on an arbitrage in OA Hero. Well, technically you kind of can. The more information you see, the more you can maybe deduce that it's a good site. So we do cover, like on OA Hero, by the way, it's just it's a software that tells you about order limits on websites, things like that information, things like that. It's got other things as well. It tells you about hard-gated brands, IP brands. The amount of people I get messaging me saying, I bought this brand and I can't sell it. And I'm like, yeah, it's hard-gated. If they just bought OA Hero, they'd save themselves. But anyway, obviously I don't really advertise it that much. But yeah, so I just lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so have a look on there, basically, because there's some sites where obviously there's loads of information. That's because obviously I've ordered from there a lot. I know that site in and out, basically. So you can probably infer from that. Yeah, we've got some exciting. I've been promising this for a while. I'm going to get it out tomorrow. There's an update for OA Hero. It is coming out tomorrow. I'm promising you now. Basically, I'm going to sit down and do it. I was going to do it tonight, but you never release software in the evening because you didn't. If something goes wrong, you'll be spending all night trying to fix it. Tomorrow, I'm going to release the update for that anyway on OA Hero. We've also got some other cool stuff coming as well. So it is being actively worked on. It's just I've not merged the update basically. And of course, the longer you leave it, the more update you've got, the more. Yeah, anyway, it's fine. We've got a nice little update coming on that one. Oh man. So I'm going to say, Liam, have you created your own web scrapers or use subscription services? So I'm actually a software engineer, right? But I actually don't have my own scrapers. I'll be honest, I can't be able to sit down and do it. If you can create your own, that's fine. The problem you're going to run into, right, is let's say you create a web scraper for 10 or 20 or 50 websites. Maintaining those almost becomes a full-time job because you're going to guarantee that every week one of them's going to change their code base somehow or do something and then going to break it. So maintaining it becomes a real nightmare actually. But if you can do your own ones, but no, I pretty much use like subscription services and stuff. But I'll be honest, I don't really use groups for OA leads. In fact, very rarely. Unless I'm using the whole like where there's smoke, there's fire philosophy. I pretty much use groups for Amazon to Amazon monitors. That's what I use it for. So when it comes to actually finding OA deals, I don't really use groups. I find my own deals. There's nothing wrong with using groups, right? But again, if you buy just that one deal, then let's say there's 500 people in one group. There's probably 100 people online, 50 people online, even 50 people buying that. It's going to be a bit little tanky. So use my philosophy. Free tip here. Use this whole where there's smoke, there's fire. But yeah, just Justin, I was going to say, Justin found a product selling for $100. Cost price is 10, but CPC is cost per click. Is it a branded item, mate? Is it a branded item? You know, that sounds like, well, it sounds like there's a lot of margin there, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really do CPC. I do a little bit here and there for products that are struggling, but I don't really do it. So again, PPC, pay per click stuff, is not my forte again. So I've got a very narrow thing that I do in Amazon. I'm focused on one kind of narrow thing and just doing it really well. Even PPC, I do it a little bit here and there, but not much. I'm by no means a PPC expert. In fact, I know very little about PPC. But yeah, let me know if it's a non-branded or branded item. I assume you're buying it from China. I'm not sure what's going on there. So has anyone got a Cogita promo code? Yes, of course we do. Although it doesn't work right now. Unfortunately, Cogita right now, if you want to get a discount on Cogita, wait until November. Basically, they're resetting their entire affiliate thing. I can give you a code now, but you won't get any promotional credit. So I'd say hold off now. It doesn't matter whose code you use. Everyone's code's been deactivated. It's restarting again in November. They're having a bit of a revamp on the affiliate thing. I can give you a code now, but I'm not going to give you a code now. Well, I can if you want. That's a code, but don't use it because, you know, it's pointless because you're not going to get any credit. So if you can just wait until the 1st of November, then you'll be able to get your £100 credit, basically, unless they've changed it. But my understanding is that it's actually going to be better. So that's what I'm understanding. So Cogita having a bit of a revamp on the affiliate scheme. Essentially, just to give you a little, I guess, background on what it is and what's going on. There's a lot of fraud going on. Even people using my code, you know, using it multiple times. You're only meant to use the code once. It's a one-time offer. People are creating multiple accounts using the code multiple times. There was too much of it going on. That was one big thing. Another thing as well, they let too many affiliates on there. So I'm an affiliate for Cogita. I'm pretty much the biggest one. They basically let too many people on. It used to be really exclusive. You know, you had to be invited in there and stuff like that. Then they opened it up to pretty much everyone. And unfortunately, what happened is, again, more fraud, essentially. People just abusing it and they're just abusing the affiliate codes and stuff like that. So what they're doing is having a big kind of reset, trying to stop the fraud going on because they're really generous. They're generous in their affiliate payments and they're really generous in their promotional code they give you and the promo they give you. And it's a really great site. So they're just having a bit of a reset. 1st November, my understanding is hopefully it's a little bit sooner. I think it's going to be around 1st anyway. I can't guarantee it. They're going to restart the whole thing basically. So I just say wait till then, unless you're really keen to order. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with that one basically. But there's no codes out there that work right now. If one worked, it would be mine. Basically, I can tell you that right now. So I'm the Cogita golden boy. So yeah. Anyway, that's kind of what's going on with that one, but it's a good site. But yeah, so okay, yeah, Claudia, yeah, exactly, yeah. So there was a big clampdown in the USA, my understanding, and then the UK has come along. It's because again, people abuse this thing. Again, I actually think if I go back to this thing here, again, I'm not Amazon setting the rules right, but this here to me looks fine. You know, maybe just one branded. To be fair, they've got 3 branded items in here, but this kind of to me looks like it's a fair game. I'd say probably 3 items maybe because they've got a soap, they've got the baby oil, or whatever that is, or shampoo, and then they've got the whites. Maybe that's a little bit too much. But having like one item in there, bundled with all the stuff to me, actually seems perfectly legit to me. It's when people are, you know, they're literally, like I say, taking a can of 7-Up, they're just scrubbing out using Photoshop the 7-Up brand and putting their own brand on there. That's what people are doing, and that's where it's you know. So I don't know what the exact policy was Amazon, but you need to be careful. Cool, right. So yeah, sorry Charlie, that's what's going on. You can still order, mate. Absolutely, you can make your first order. But yes, the code is only for your first order. Yes, so DM me on Discord, right? DM me on Discord if you can, and sign up with my code. DM me on Discord. You've got the links in the description, by the way, and I'll see what I can do for you. Okay, I can't promise anything because, like I said, it's on pause right now, but I've got a bit of pull with Cogita, so I might be able to hook you up. So I can't promise, but just DM me on Discord once you've created your account with FBA Mogul code, and let me know what your email is on Cogita, and I'll see what I can do, mate. Okay, I'll see what I can do for you. But yeah, code FBA Mogul when you sign up. And the codes are just above in the chat. Okay, yeah. Send me a message, mate. I can't promise, but I'll do my best. Okay. Yeah, I can't promise it all. Yeah, private label, mate. So I'm trying to catch up with the chat. 1 second, let's catch up. Adrian saying, save me many times, OA Hero. Thank you, appreciate it, mate. Yeah, I think it's a good bit of software myself. £150 for lifetime. Insane. I'm in two minds. One of me wants to keep the lifetime for £150, but to be honest, I might get rid of the lifetime and just go down to £100 for yearly and just do like a yearly charge. So I'm thinking of doing that, to be fair. I'll be honest, OA Hero has not been too much in my mind recently. But yeah, it's something I'm thinking of doing is just doing a yearly subscription, £100 a year. If you save yourself from, it does so much stuff. I'm not going to go too much into it, but if it saves you from buying a hard-gated item, it's made your money back. If it helps you knowing about order limits on one website, it's made your money back. It tells you, it's good, honestly. Yeah, it will save you on so many levels. But yeah, yeah, I'll be honest. So Justin, if you want to, again, I'm not a private label guy, to be fair. Check out Nikos. I'll put a link. I don't have a link, but I'll just type his name in. Check this guy out on YouTube. He's a really nice guy, absolutely 100% legit, solid guy. Nikos Marko, he's a legend. He knows private label inside and out. If you want to do private label, go check him out, basically. Just say that I sent you. Say, oh, Mogul sent me, basically. It's fine. We're really good friends, but no, he's legit. Watch his videos. Get in touch with him. You know, he'll help you out, basically. He's got a mentorship program. It's not cheap, but it's really good. And if you want the best success, yeah, he'll help you, basically. I don't think he does USA, though. But I'm not sure. I'll let him decide. But yeah, go and check out if you want to do private label. Like I said, I don't pretend to know about private label or anything. I'm very narrow in my field in Amazon, which is online arbitrage essentially, and selling branded items like Nike or 7-Up or Apple or whatever. Not that you can't sell Apple or anything, but, you know, I'm just looking around my desk basically at stuff. So yeah, I've got a lot of Apple stuff. So yeah. Cool, awesome, good questions so far, guys. It's been a good session. Let me get a drink. If you've got any more questions, by the way, throw them out there. I finished my drink and crack a new one. I'm trying to stay hydrated. I mean, this is not the best stuff to stay hydrated, to be fair. I'll be honest with you. I'm not the healthiest boy in the world when it comes to this kind of stuff. But yeah, just trying to stay hydrated, though. It's mostly water, right? With artificial sweeteners and stuff. Yeah, I just noticed my t-shirt's creased. That's not good. Not a good look. Yeah, any other questions? Throw them out there, guys. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with my Amazon progress so far. It's been pretty good. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about was ungating. Very briefly. Because everyone is struggling with ungating right now. It is an absolute pain in the arse on Amazon. Now, things are meant to be changing at some point. I don't know when, but they're meant to be changing at some point. So you just need to persevere and stick with it. I've also seen people make some mistakes with ungating as well. So just want to talk about some basic tips with ungating. One, make sure that your billing address on that invoice that you're buying from. Well, again, let's take a step back. Make sure you're buying from a website that gives you an invoice. So again, OA Hero will help you with that. But you know, you can just ask in a Discord group or whatever. You know, or even just contact support and say, do you provide invoices? You need to be buying from a place that gives invoices. The first one. Secondly, on that invoice, the shipping address doesn't matter. It can go anywhere. It can go to the Buckingham Palace for all it matters. The billing address matters, though. So I hope I said that right. The delivery address doesn't matter. The billing address does. The billing address needs to match the address that's on your Amazon account, essentially, for your seller account. Very important. Ideally, it matches up 100%. The next thing I'm going to say is when you're trying to ungate brands, make sure you don't use software like BuyBot Pro or SellerAmp. You need to actually take that ASIN, go to Seller Central, add the product to your inventory. Go to inventory, add product, type the ASIN in, I'll put the ASIN in, and then click sell. And then if it says apply, click the apply button. See what actually comes up, because sometimes things are auto ungate. You need to have a look and see it and see what it actually says. Does it actually ask for an invoice or not? You know, have a look what it says. So do that, because a lot of people are not actually going through the entire ungate process. They're using like SellerAmp and it's not 100% working, so I wouldn't use that. And the best thing I can say is, well, after that is like, if you get rejected, and you will get rejected, on some of these brands, you need to keep applying on this same case. Do not open up multiple cases. I've seen people making this mistake a lot. Just when I kind of think I've kind of covered it all. But yeah, do not, you need to stick to that same case. Even if the case gets rejected right away, you can go into that case, you can click reply on it as long as it's within 5 days of that case being opened, or last response. You can then go in and keep trying on that case, keep submitting the information. If you can, provide bank statement, provide pictures of the images of the products, pictures of the products, all this kind of stuff, and just keep trying. You have to persevere with it, essentially. Things are going to get easier, apparently. We're in Q4 now. Q4 tends to be a little bit, tougher. But when it comes to ungating, we're already in a tough situation as it is. But you've got to keep trying. But yeah, follow that advice I've given you there. I'm trying to think what advice. I've got a whole video on ungating. But yeah. Anyway, if you go, there's a video on my channel. Search ungating, you'll find it. But yeah, it's a little bit outdated, but for the most part, the information there is correct. It's just obviously, it's just not. In fact, the information is fine. It's just a bit dated in the fact that it used to be really easy to ungate, and now it's really difficult. But you can look at this two ways. Oh yeah, and sometimes it's 10 or 100 items as well. So a little tip with that, by the way, you can use multi-packs. So let's say you buy a pack of 12 7-Ups, for example, a single pack of 12 cans, that technically counts as 12 units. So I've done that in the past with like light bulbs, things like that, where I bought one single pack. Philips comes to mind, and it was like a 10 unit one. I bought one single pack. I think it was 12 bulbs actually, or 10 bulbs, and then that was fine to ungate. So there's another little tip for you as well. I'm trying to think what other tips I've got for you on this one. Yeah, just keep trying, and say right now you can look at this as two ways. I speak to a lot of people every day, and ungating is one thing that comes up all the time. You can look at this two ways, right? You can look at it, it's really hard to ungate right now. It's really hard for new sellers to come in. But if you persevere with it, you can look at it as a positive thing and saying, look, it's really hard for people to get into it. If I stick with it and work hard and just stick with the whole thing and be patient and persevere, then, if I make it through, then it's going to be really hard for other people to come on. You can say, well, that's a good thing because there's less people coming onto Amazon. So from your point of view, it's a great thing. Or you can look at it the other way and go, oh, it's just too hard and it's a pain in the butt, really. But I've seen it in both ways. I've seen it when Amazon was really easy to ungate and everyone was complaining that it was too easy. And now I've seen it really hard and everyone's complaining it's too hard. So you can't win either way. But yeah, you can look at it as a positive or negative. And for me, it sucks because I'm trying to help people get into Amazon. It's been a life-changing business for me. I'm trying to share this with you guys. Whether you just go through my free Discord and just do it yourself or decide to do mentoring, I don't really mind. But yeah, I'm trying to share this with everyone. I want people to be successful in it, just like I've been and seen multiple people be successful. And it's really hard for me to see that it's a struggle for people. But these things, everything comes in waves, everything comes in cycles, and yeah, it's a tough one right now. So I'll get to, if you just added me to Discord, I'll get to you in a second at the end of the call. I've added you as a friend now, but yeah. I'll sort you out afterwards, or maybe tomorrow morning. I might go to bed after this. Okay, cool. So highlight the key. Oh yeah, there's another thing as well. Adrian's saying, although I've actually heard mixed things about. Well, saying this is the problem. You get so many mixed things. One bit of information I heard was that the bots don't, because right now what's happening is bots are rejecting you. Is the bots don't like edited invoices. So in the past I would said highlight stuff on there, make it really obvious, but then now I'm hearing that, to be honest, it's really hard to know what's right and wrong these days. I try both. I try and highlight the information. I try without first as well, see what happens. But yeah, it's, So Sahil saying, I got a product authenticity customer complaint on L'Oreal. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. And bought this inventory from Cogita. Now Amazon not accepting Cogita invoice. Any solution? So what you need to do, and unfortunately, this is where it sucks now. So first question, do you have the marketplace invoice or you just have the Cogita invoice? So whenever you buy from Cogita, you need to, everything on there is legit, okay? But it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So you need to buy from sellers that only provide marketplace invoices. The way you know this is because it's got a little icon. I was going to show you. I can't be bothered now. But yeah, it's got a little icon on there that shows you its marketplace invoice, like a little magnifying glass icon next to the seller. So what you do, when you get an authenticity complaint, you provide the Cogita invoice, okay? They'll reject it and say, look, we need supply chain information. You go, okay, cool, that's nice. Here's the Cogita invoice, and you're basically laying this up for them, basically. Here's the Cogita invoice and the supplier invoice. And then you provide both together, and then you should be fine. Now, one thing that kind of sucks right now is Amazon is still even rejecting that stuff. You need to keep it sucks, it's stupid, but you need to keep sending the information to them until they accept it. It sucks, it's stupid, but that's the way Amazon's working right now. I know this because I've got a student who was buying directly from the manufacturer, directly. She had a really good relationship with the manufacturer of a different, I won't say what brand it is. She got an authenticity complaint. She submitted the invoice from the actual manufacturer itself, and it kept getting rejected. So if Amazon are rejecting that, what are they accepting? But it was just more of those things that you basically is one of these things where you just need to keep submitting it. Eventually, she did get it through. Took 4 or 5 attempts, I think it was. I can't remember exactly. I think she had to get the manufacturer to write a letter as well. But essentially, it sucks. It's so stupid. But you got to keep submitting. You know, it's happened to me recently. I've had one recently. What brand was it? DKNY. Where I submitted the information, it got accepted right away. I had another DKNY for a different one, where basically it took me like 3 attempts. I submitted the same information over and over. Well, I did the Cogito one, did the Cogito plus the market got rejected. Then I sent another one as well. Now, it also can help as well if you know what the supplier is. So with Cogito Marketplace Invoice, you'll know the supplier. Sometimes they're in Europe, sometimes the UK. It doesn't matter where they are. If you can, just go and find their website, take a screenshot of it, take a screenshot of their contact information. If you can go onto like Companies House, for example, take a screenshot of their Companies House information showing like obviously like their registration date. You know, I've had ones where like they were rejecting it from a supplier that's been around since like 1996. I'm pretty sure a company from 1996, a big one that does like 150 million, I think it was 200 million revenue a year, is not selling fakes. So just submit that information to them, they accepted it. So you just got to keep and the other things what you can do as well, again, a bit like with the ungating and stuff like that is, or what the question earlier with the receipts is, submit your bank statement. So show the kind of chain from your bank account, the payment to Cogito or whoever you're buying from, show that link, you know, and the stuff like that can help as well. Basically shows like legitimacy. I don't know why it makes a difference, but it does. So you can kind of do all that basically. And if you can as well, show the delivery. If you can, you probably not, but show the picture of the item, against like a known good one, I suppose, and things like that. But that's probably going a little bit far. But yeah, if you can show the delivery, it being delivered as well, that's an important thing. Can help as well. So like the delivery information, tracking information, stuff like that. Take a screenshot of that. So yeah. Okay, cool. You got supply chain, everything's rejected. 4 attempts ready. Keep going, basically. Do what I've just said there, basically, mate. Keep going. You got to keep trying. What reason are they giving you for rejection as well? That's an important thing. You just can't verify supply chain. Is that what they're saying? The other thing you can do is you can get in touch with the actual supplier as well. See if they'll write you something up. Maybe, it's going a bit far really, but that's something you could do as well. But yeah. Cool. Anyway, good question. It sucks right now. Like I say, I've seen it. I'm not seeing it directly, but I heard it. Direct manufacturer's invoice getting rejected for authenticity. It doesn't get better than that. It's like that is like the gold standard of literally. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, does it? I can't think of anything better than that. You know, apart from maybe buying it from Amazon, who bought it directly from a manufacturer, maybe. But even then, you say that's ridiculous. So just keep trying. Say, oh, you didn't buy it from Cogito. So what you need to point out is that you didn't buy it from Cogito. You bought it from the supplier. Cogito is just the middleman, essentially. So they are just essentially the payment processor, pretty much. That's pretty much all they're doing. Well, they are inserting themselves into the supply chain, if that makes sense, but only for the payments. So what you need to make it clear is that you're actually buying from that supplier who's just paid through Cogito, essentially. So we need to make clear there. If you need help, reach out to Cogito as well. They'll help you write some documentation to explain it as well. They're quite good. They've got a really good document now to help you with this kind of stuff. But yeah, reach out to Cogito as well and just keep trying. Don't take no for an answer, basically. You cannot take no for an answer. This is the tricky part, Adrian. Yeah, so again, one of the things that Amazon might try and do is, it's really naughty, by the way, they'll call up and pretend to be you. I've heard, to be fair, this is anecdotal, I've heard this, that they'll basically call up, pretend to be you, try and verify the order, basically. If the supplier's not answering, that doesn't help, of course. But yeah, so it's always good to give, if you've got that contact information for them, so that Amazon can contact them and verify the purchase. The tricky part is, right, and again, I've heard this from people, is that Amazon will speak to the supplier and say, we want to see your supply chain information. And in some cases it's happened, and then they've literally, Amazon gone direct to the supplier. Again, this is anecdotal stuff that I've heard, but yeah, but the supplier may or may not be willing to send it to Amazon on your behalf. I would say probably not, but it shouldn't have to go that far, to be fair. They're asking for extremely confidential information, And yeah, but anyway, what you need to do really is just persevere with it. Unfortunately, that's the way it is right now. It sucks, but you need to persevere with it. It's the best advice to give you. Listen to all the advice I gave you before. Persevere with it. So I've had ones where it's very recently. DKNY had two fairly recently, two different ones. I don't know why people. It's ridiculous, honestly. But yeah, with perfumes, it happens all the time. I'm used to it. I've had it from places I bought from Boots, Superdrug, perfumes I bought from Lloyd's Pharmacy, perfumes I bought from Cogita. People, I think it's just a weird one where they've obviously got like an old bottle or something, or maybe they smelt it in a Boots or something, and then they get it and it's like doesn't smell what they remember, or they compare it to their 5-year-old bottle. That obviously is not going to smell the same. So it's just weird how these things happen. But yeah, I've fought and won plenty of them recently. So I said not plenty, a couple. One of them was done right away. The other one took a few attempts. Yeah. Being dressed important, the change to playing. Yeah, so exactly. So yes, that's important. But you need to make it. Reach out to Cogita because they've got like a supply chain document. You maybe already have it. I don't know. But it explains the whole thing essentially of how it works. But yeah, the marketplace invoice has yours. So you need to make it clear. This is the tricky part. You're trying to explain this to a virtual assistant in like Pakistan or nothing. No offense to those guys, but like you're trying to explain it to them how this is working. It's like, this is the supply chain. It's you, Cogita, and then the other way around. But you, Cogita, then it's the supplier, and then obviously that supplier's bought from somewhere else. But you need to kind of explain that supply chain to them. You shouldn't have to go through this, but you do sometimes. So, yeah, it's a bit of a pain. I've never had to go this far before, really. I've always been fine with Cogita invoices and marketplace invoices. Yeah, always been fine. But yeah. It sucks. But it just takes, it's a bit like I'm getting now. You just need to persevere and don't take no for an answer. Basically, it's stupid. But yeah, but say it's not a Cogita issue. It's not a whatever issue. Like I said, I've got direct information that, someone had this one directly from the manufacturer. Again, I won't say what brand it was. But yeah, and they kept getting rejected over and over and over. Not great, Amazon. Sort it out. Yeah, this is the kind of crap that that's companies like TikTok and Temu and Vinted and Eat whatever else overtake you because you're doing stupid stuff like this. Really does made them. But yeah, Anyway, that kind of sucks, but there we go. This is part of the Amazon. I don't hold any punches on this stuff. It's a freaking amazing business, but it's a freaking pain in the butt at times as well. But you take the good with the bad. You want the best marketplace in the world, the biggest marketplace in the world, the place where people spend the premium money, on products. You want the good, you got to take some of the bad as well. And the bad fluctuates from like really bad to averagely bad. But it's a good platform, and if you understand how Amazon works, then it makes it a little bit easier, I suppose. So yeah. Anyway, it tests me. It tests me because I haven't built my entire life around Amazon right now. So I'm all in, basically. If you want a poker analogy, I am all in on Amazon. So when this stuff happens, it really does test my resolve a little bit. But yeah. Anyway, you got to push through the good times and the bad times. Life would be boring if it was always easy. Maybe it would, I don't know. But yeah, so you take the good with the bad. If you're willing to persevere through this, then you'll be in an even better position this time next year or middle of next year when it's Amazon's racing to the moon and you're in it and doing really well. Hey, Summer, how's it going? I hope you're well. I wanted to ask, is there any minimum order you have to do? Yes, it comes down to each supplier. So every supplier has a minimum order quantity. It's normally, or it depends on each one, 350 to 500. Sometimes it's more. The highest I've seen was like 93 or 92,500. I was like, who is ordering that? No one. It wasn't even that good prices as well. I can understand to be fair, if the prices were good enough, I'd have bought from there. But when the prices aren't even that good, I'm like, who's ordering from there? So it all depends on the supplier. Each supplier, so there's 500 or 600 wholesalers on there, suppliers. They all have their own minimum quantities on there. So yeah, I placed an order on there today for. Let me get it up actually. Let me show you. I'm not going to show you what I ordered, but let me show you. How much did I spend today? There we go. Here we go. This is my order today. £5,801.92p. So yeah, nice little order there. I won't show what it is, but it is perfumes and aftershaves basically. So yeah, Yeah, but that one there, I ordered so much because what they've got on the Quick now is they've got supply discounts if you order a certain amount. So that supplier was like if you ordered 5,000 or something, I can't remember what exactly, excluding VAT, something around there. You got like an extra 5% discount. So I was like, yeah, all right, I'll throw a few things on there. So why not do that basically? Yeah, so it's quite a nice little deal there. I can't remember what profit I'm looking to make on that one. It's about £1,000, I think, on that one, about £1,000 profit. So it's not the highest ROI, considering I spent about £6,000. I'm looking to make about £1,000, but it might make more with Q4, but I'm still taking £1,000 though. I'm still happy with that. Yeah, about 1,000, because it's about 100 units. It's 84 units. No, sorry, 94 units. Sorry, it's about 100 units. Yeah, I'm making about £10 per unit on those ones. Yeah, pretty good. Can't complain about that one. So yeah, and then I did some other OA ordering today as well. So yeah, pretty good. Would you recommend just browsing on Quigear to get grips with the? Absolutely, yeah. Look, Summer, use the mentoring call below. Book a call with me. I'll walk you through Quigear. I'll help you with it for free. It's fine. Use the link below because it's now a call. The mentoring one. You don't have to talk about mentoring. We just book it in. Book a call with me. Normally do 15 minutes, but because you're on here asking questions, I'll give you an hour. We'll just talk about Quigear if you want. I'm happy to. It's one of my favourite topics. So yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. And I'll answer any questions you got about Amazon. But yeah, book it in. 100% free. Book a call with me. You get an hour. So anyone else wants to book an hour with me, book a call. It's all good. Yeah, help you out with Quigear or anything else. But yeah, Quigear is one of my favourite topics. I order from there a lot. So yeah, awesome. Adrian saying, didn't realise, but just because you select markup invoice provider doesn't mean you automatically get the invoice. Oh yeah, you have to request it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so it basically what it means is they'll give you a markup invoice in the event that you need it, essentially. Although my VA collects them automatically. Someone actually asked me the other day, how do you do it? Because you meant to provide evidence that you need it, but somehow I need to ask her properly. She said she just screenshots the page. I need to actually sit down and actually understand how she's doing it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Summer, I can definitely help you there. Absolutely. RA, again, I'm not an expert on RA. I say when you talk, I literally am so narrow. I guess it's niche. Niching is a good thing, to be fair, or niching if you're American. Down on a specific thing. I'm extraordinarily narrow inside of Amazon, to be fair. I don't really do. I know the basics of RA, but I'm not like a big RA person. I do enjoy a nice RA trip in the summer, with the windows down, driving a nice summer day. I'll be honest, I do quite enjoy that. But yeah, most of the time I don't enjoy RA. But yeah, RA, it can work, by the way. It's a good strategy. You can definitely make 6 figures a year doing retail arbitrage, 100% guaranteed. But you have to be out all day, every day for 8 hours, probably. Maybe not quite that much, but you'd have to be out a lot. Getting really good at it. But you could definitely do 6 figures on retail arbitrage, 100% guaranteed. I think it's an underrated method, actually, if you're willing to put the legwork in, and I do mean the legwork, because you have to be out and about all day for the most part. So, but yeah, I think it's one of those ones that you can definitely do, and it can be scaled as well. It can be scaled, so it's an interesting model, actually. Somewhat tempted to. There's actually something I actually want to do. So I'd said I'd never do a paid group, right? But I think there's a massive need right now, and feel free to steal this off me if you want. I don't care. I think there's a massive need right now for a retail arbitrage paid Discord group that has retail arbitrage leads, that pays people to go out and find leads, teaches retail arbitrage, all that kind of stuff, essentially. But yeah, I think there's a massive need for that right now, because I think it is an underrated method. I know there's a lot of sneaky, well, I say not sneaky, but people that are just sit in the background of Discord, don't really talk much, and they just literally just destroy RA, and they just stick to their own little lane. They don't really talk much, don't brag much, and they just absolutely crush retail arbitrage. And there's a few people like that, so I know there's a lot of opportunity there. But yeah, yeah, exactly. You have to travel a lot, basically. So you have to get a good car or van, travel around a lot. You have to learn the stores, learn the sales cycles, get to know the managers, all this kind of stuff, essentially. That there's a lot to it, essentially. But yeah, if you really want to push it, you can do it. It's a good model. Like I say, all models work on Amazon. I'm not the kind of person. There's some people out there that will poo-poo other models because they're trying to sell a course on a particular thing, like Brand Direct, don't they? I know for a fact that all models work. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I push OA because that's what I know, but also it's the best thing for beginners as well. OA and RA, to be fair, are both the best things for beginners because they're pretty much risk-free, and you don't need a huge amount of money as well. But yeah, and when I say risk-free, I mean because if you order something wrong from John Lewis, for example, you're like, oh, you get it, and like, oh, it's the wrong order or wrong item, or this is not as profitable. I thought, just send it back and get a refund. It's pretty much risk free. Try and do that with a wholesaler, see what happens. Try and return a pallet, and also you've got to buy a pallet of goods as well. Good luck with returning that. Expensive, restocking fees, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and the other good thing about RA OA as well is that you can just order like 1 or 2 units or 3 units, whatever, 5 units. You don't need to have a massive bankroll to start. So, but yeah, anyway, awesome. Any final questions then before we wrap it up? I'm struggling a little bit now, so I'm gonna probably wrap it up there. But if you've got any other final questions, let me know. Like I say, if you want to have a chat with me, ask any questions about Amazon, if you're interested in the mentorship program. You got even if you're not, you just want to have a chat and get some help with Amazon or whatever, Quicketa, things like that. You got my mentoring link below. Just book a call with me. We'll have a chat. There's no hard sales. I'm literally the worst salesman ever on this kind of thing. I just enjoy helping people and talking to people. And yeah, if you want to check it over here, there's a link there. And oh yeah, and the MacBook. Don't forget. MacBook giveaway is in there as well. So you got the link there. You can get the free MacBook. Well, one of you can, not all of you. I wish I could give you all a free MacBook. You've got that as well. So awesome. I massively appreciate you all coming on. Anyone who's live, anyone who watches afterwards, I also massively appreciate you as well. I'll be back again on Monday, 8 p.m. I'm trying to stick to a regular schedule even when I'm sick. 8 p.m. Monday, 8 p.m. Thursday, every single week. I'll be available on these lives for at least an hour. Helping you out any questions you've got about Amazon. So if you're watching this now, in the car or whatever, and you're watching this back and you think, oh, I'm not asked Simon a question, ask Mogul a question, you can come on one of those days and ask me, and I'll do my best to help you. Awesome. So one question then, tried looking for that code in your videos, couldn't find it. To up my points, just DM me and I'll see if I can help you. Okay, cool, awesome. Okay, thanks everyone for coming on. Massively appreciate it. It's been a really good session, to be fair, and I thoroughly enjoy doing these things because it's you guys that make it good, because you ask such good questions, so you keep me going for the whole hour basically. But yeah, thanks everyone, I appreciate it. Okay, all right, I'll see you guys on Monday, 8 p.m. Oh, and by the way, there's a video coming out. I'm going to upload it. I'll release it probably tomorrow 8 p.m. maybe, or maybe Saturday 8 p.m. My latest driving vlog's coming out as well. So if you want to see more of me, there's a driving vlog coming out as well. So awesome.